No, actually, let's start. We'll skip that. I'm going to go to the podcast with Brian first. So you watched my conversation with Brian Mghoney.
I only ever listen.
Listen, okay.
Just so you know,
Okay.
I'm fascinated by how it's the younger generation. I think they watch YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go on YouTube very often. I really go into like dark places. Watch a lot of like economic Debbie Downer stuff. So,
Okay.
but so I listened to it. I listened to it the other night. I went on a trip to Eastern Washington this past week on a hay buying trip with a guy that works with
Oh,
me.
yeah, I've seen that you were haying.
Yeah, well, I've been haying quite a bit. I hayed this morning too.
Oh.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Just don't have enough guys, or you just don't want to do it?
Short staff. I always say we have a staph infection. Anyways, we we listened to it on the way home.
Yeah.
And
Who's we?
Sorry,
Who's we?
me and Steve.
Oh, okay.
We listened to it. Hard to listen to.
Hard.
Lots of people have listened to that. I don't know how. Have you checked the stats on how many people listen?
Yeah, yeah.
Lots.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's at 1,000 views, a little over 1,000 views.
Okay, I meant to share it too. I will share it.
A lot of people that have watched have reached out to me though. And
Yeah,
they're just
it makes
like blown
sense.
away.
It makes sense. I mean, I had heard of it somehow over the years of his organization, Ruitenburg, but I had never signed up for subscriptions. I never followed them on social media. That man, and then you would know him way better than I do because you've probably talked to him more.
No, that's the first time I ever talked to him. I knew nothing about him. I went into that conversation blind.
Okay.
Like
You didn't need to say anything either. He's a very gifted speaker.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
you did a good job, but it was definitely, he had the ability. My sisters both listened to it and we debriefed the next day. I did with my younger sister, and the conversation with, like I said to her, I said, the man had a gift of sharing, of preaching. Like he preached while he did the podcast. He did a history lesson. He convicted people. Just, he made us aware of, people that are well educated and know history, know about Cambodia. And I had heard of that. I'd heard of that organization, and I won't pronounce it. I'll butcher it. But
Ratanak.
no, but of the terrorist group that were basically.
Oh yeah. The Khmer Rouge.
Khmer Rouge or whatever it is. Yeah. And there's people that are listening that are like, that's not how you say it. But anyway, so that, like, those were things that was pretty powerful. And then he talked a lot about, even just, he quoted a lot of verses. He shared about a witnessing, and obviously not everybody would agree probably with his take. There's people that think you should be more forthright. But I just think he did a bang up job of all of it while, like, ironically keeping it light.
Yeah.
And probably not intending to, but I just think that he, first of all, you would become ineffective if you were in that space and you got weighed down. God's probably given him the gift of being able to
keep going,
keep perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I had so many more questions. Actually, I was talking to Trevor about it, and he said he had a buddy that listened to it and said he wished I would have gone more into detail on a few of the things that he was sharing, which I wanted to do, but it was
2 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah, but once it's that long, it doesn't really matter anymore if it's 3 hours. People would go back and listen to it because most people listen to it in two settings anyway.
No, they don't. Like, that guy has a gift. You could listen, like, I listened to it straight through.
Okay, yeah. So if it's 3 hours though, then it doesn't make a difference if it's 2, right?
No, probably not. He was very, very good communicator, right? Yeah. And no pauses, no ums, just a Gatling gun of information, right? And it's interesting. This is my perspective, and not a lot of people know this, but like I was in prison when Picton was in prison, in the same prison, in North Fraser pretrial in the early 2000s. And so
you saw him?
Yes. I remember being in we got 1 hour a day of free time. I was basically doing weekends for stuff. And I always went in on Friday at 5 and got out Sunday at 5. And a myriad of people, friends and family, drove me because, of course, I didn't have a license, which is the reason I was in there.
Yeah.
And I remember being, we basically, when they say you got an hour of free time, like, it wasn't even, you didn't get to see daylight, but they had to let us walk in the hallway. I remember that. And then it was like 5 o'clock or whenever court was over and his trial was over, and the whole place, the place went to lockdown, and they traipsed the greasy mongrel through there. So it was pretty interesting.
Oh, he was by himself always?
Yeah, always with a group of sheriffs or whatever, right? So that's a distinct memory I have of kind of...
Oh, interesting.
And I remember...
So when you started listening to this podcast, you didn't know that was coming?
I didn't know Picton was coming. And so that was a blast from the past. And then also in the early 2000s, like, I unloaded hay for years, like, just physically unloaded. I think I posted on Instagram the other day, but I unloaded like 100 ton of hay every day for probably 5-6 years. And at that time, we unloaded next to his pig farm. and we unloaded as he was. So it was just a kind of a crazy time in my life. And I remember being next while they were excavating and had all the stuff there. And so, yeah, his story, even of that lady, of Selena, I think her name was, is just, yeah, it's really powerful. It was a beautiful thing. And
I loved what I
That's
most.
special
Well,
guy.
it was interesting for you because I thought it was way more of a conversation than an interview, which is always my goal, to have conversations, not have interviews. There's distinct differences, but I also want to prepare a little bit as well. And this time I didn't really prepare. I just, for some reason, wasn't ready, and I was like, I'm just going to roll with it. And I find it came more naturally that way. But what I found was the most interesting was his little rabbit trails that we'd go off of, and where he's just like the lessons in them, like especially
that's what he was good at.
the lessons of like being open about your sin in the church and like the leadership
Yeah.
side and those kind of things like that. Like I was just like, you can't argue with evidence like that.
Yeah, he touched on some pretty interesting points, obviously about evangelism and the way that they do work there. He talked about, like this. Yeah. Anyways, I wouldn't want to share too much about it because I think if anyone's listening to this and they haven't listened to it, that's a lot better listen than this is. So you should shut this off. And
I mean,
listen to that.
it is true. The evidence is on the views.
The evidence is on the views, and yeah, the guy's an amazing man and a beautiful story. And he was young. Like, I think what I got out of that too, or I would if you're a young guy, you're in your early 20s. That guy was 25 years old in Cambodia, like bringing sea cans of medicine illegally into the country, and just, well, not even illegally. I think he literally just kind of,
Made it
the
happen.
Lord opened up doors and that kind of happened. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I found it fascinating, and
It's interesting. I interviewed Dave Curry yesterday,
okay.
and that's like, I think they're probably similar in age to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But completely different end of the spectrum of type of interview when it comes to like, I mean, Brian dealt with horrors, and Dave is on the other side of like just
He's still dealing with horrors.
yeah, in the people that he's dealing with. We didn't
Yeah.
go into details on those things, but just like his life story and stuff like that.
I see.
Very, very different, but also very cool. And
Now, I would say, you talk about how you interview people. I mean, I feel like I've told you, you're a great interviewer, but I don't think you need to ask, like, if you have people, good guests on your show like him, you did not need to say much. I mean, sometimes you were interrupting because you felt like, hey, I need to clarify something, or you had, yourself, you're just curious, hey, what about this? Or a little bit of pushback here and there. But I mean, that guy was well-spoken, and obviously he's probably spoken in front of hundreds or thousands of people talking about their organization and everything that he's done. And I'm thinking, even as a, just going back to, I don't know, you didn't get into, there's so many ways you could have got into, but he was probably in front of the court giving testimony over the years. So like, just very well spoken, right?
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. He knows. He's been around the block.
He's thinking on the fly. Right?
I think I'll have him back on and dive into some of these different things. So
okay. Definitely, I guess out of that, what's expected to come out of that? If you have an interviewer like that, you have Brian on there, what would your hope be having a guest like that on? Obviously it's interesting, so you want to have interesting people with amazing stories and a great witness, but like, I kind of thought, hey, are people going to the website and signing up for his newsletter? Are they supporting him monthly? Are they? Hey.
I don't know. Like I really try to think about the show as like interviewing people and talking to people that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And like genuinely interested in, and that I'd want to talk to regardless.
Okay.
And just record those
Whatever
conversations.
happens from that.
Whatever happens. If you want to check it out, it's on my YouTube page or on the Spotify app. I think it's the title of the podcast is Faith in the Face of Horror.
Yeah. I didn't like your description of jaw dropping.
No?
No, I feel like it's too sensationalized, and I feel like, I mean, it's the most sensational thing you'll ever listen to. Like, it's so powerful.
Well, that's why it wasn't clickbait.
But it felt underwhelming, and it felt.
It is.
I know you're trying to sell it, and whatever.
No, I'm not trying to sell it. I think about
these.
these titles and the descriptions a decent amount. Like, I'm just like, okay, how do I most best reflect what this conversation is about?
Oh, it's so hard.
You're not 2.5 hour conversation.
You're not going to do it justice. No, that's fair.
So,
okay.
Anyways, okay. Moving on to Fruit of the Spirit. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.